How anyone can defend Tyson Fury at this point really is beyond me. And I say that because as of this afternoon, there are multiple sources reporting that the promoter of Oleksandr Usyk, Alex Krassyuk, has supposedly offered Tyson Fury a 60-40 split for the Undisputed fight, in which the winner of that fight receives the 60%. Tyson Fury, though, has apparently turned that down. So yet again, us boxing fans fail to receive any positive news about the process of making this fight. And this is becoming increasingly frustrating. You can probably tell how frustrated I am because I'm not someone who generally does videos on the business side of boxing. I don't focus on the financial ins and outs. I focus on the practical, physical side of it, how I think the fight is going to unfold and all the variables that play a part in that. But there is a growing pile of evidence that shows there's really one man holding up the process of this fight being made and delivered to us, and that is Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, as he likes to go by. And if you're making excuses for Tyson Fury at this point, you're part of the problem. You are holding up the process of this fight being made and being delivered to us boxing fans, because this is the most meaningful fight in the division, and for some reason it's not happening. And Tyson Fury likes to go on like he's some kind of blood and guts warrior, and he fights purely for the sake of fighting because he wants to be a man of the people, in his own words, and fight to entertain and inspire. But then he says it's not about money, but then he wants 500 million. Oh yeah, but that's a hyperbolic figure. Okay, he gets offered 60-40, in which the winner takes the majority. And if he's apparently so confident in beating Oleksandr Usyk, who's just a middleweight, he's just a middleweight who was blown up to cruiserweight and now is blown up to heavyweight, and Tyson Fury's the best fighter of his generation and the best fighter of all time. Okay, Tyson, walk that walk. Go in there and beat this blown up middleweight and get your 60%. But I think at this point, it's quite clear to see that Tyson Fury probably isn't that keen on fighting Oleksandr Usyk, just the middleweight. Oleksandr Usyk, the middleweight, he's not that keen on fighting him, and he's not that confident. And now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Tyson Fury would lose to Oleksandr Usyk. I don't know who wins that fight. I could make a prediction, but ultimately, I want to find out who is the better man by watching them fight. I'm not going to declare either one of them the best until they've gone in there with the other guy who's seen as the best and beaten them. It doesn't work in the way that these Tyson Fury fanboys think it works, in which, as long as I believe that my favourite fighter is the best, he is. It doesn't work like that. He's got to go in there and he's got to fight opposition and come out on top. Tyson Fury, though, as I say, doesn't seem ultimately that keen on doing that. And at this point, we have to put pressure on Tyson Fury, because it seems to be him that's holding up this process. I have no reason to doubt Oleksandr Usyk, not just out of some blind faith in him and his ability and his virtues as a person, as a fighter, but if you look at Oleksandr Usyk's conduct throughout the course of his career, he's fought all of his most meaningful fights away from home, in the backyard of his opponent, and has put up very few barriers, if any, to any of these fights being made. He has been the epitome of an old school fighter. Has gloves, will travel, and he wins. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, is a very devious and deceptive person. Probably the most dishonest fighter I've ever come across in all my time watching boxing. A fantastic fighter, yes, but he's clearly not this blood and guts warrior that a lot of people think he is, and that he portrays himself to be. Someone who's just willing to get stuck in, doesn't care about money, he just wants to fight, he just wants to be the best. That's not the case. Tyson Fury, I think, is clearly picking his battles very, very carefully and strategically putting barriers to this fight so he can maybe preserve his undefeated record, but it's not very strategic in the fact that many people can see through it. If you go to the comment section of any of the posts reporting what I'm reporting to you now about this 60-40 split, a lot of them see through it. And many people are accusing Tyson Fury of ducking Oleksandr Usyk. And I don't think that's that unreasonable, to be honest, because if you consider everything Tyson Fury said, I'd say recent years, but especially recent months, he's contradicted himself time and time again. And this fight still fails to materialize. So put pressure on the relevant parties to make fights happen. And right now, it seems as if pressure has to be put on Tyson Fury. So no more excuses. If Tyson Fury doesn't fight Oleksandr Usyk, he is ducking him. That's all I have to say on this one.